smooth ride. Let's go! It's the morning drive on 103.5 Betta Edu, keeping your morning engaging as we take you through the smoothest ride on radio.
From 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
Getting your morning inspired, be informed. Let's interact only on the morning drive.
Make it a date with Martin Afenifere, aka Meta.
And Christy, aka Eminari, aka Classy.
From Monday to Friday, from 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
on the morning drive.
103.5 FM.
Good morning and welcome to Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Today, the 10th day of January 2024. Today is Wednesday and the time is 2 minutes past the hour of 7. It's time for newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news, making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers. But before we do that, let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines. Please stay with us.
Do you know that you have the right to quality broadcasting? The National Broadcasting Commission says any person, group of persons, or organization aggrieved by the content of a broadcast or the conduct of a broadcast station may lodge a complaint to the station and write to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 20, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asokoro, Abuja, or send a mail via info@nbc.gov.ng. Please ensure that the complaint includes name of the broadcast station, title of the program, date and time of broadcast, and essence of the complaint. Also, remember to include your name, address, telephone number, email, and append your signature. Note that the complaint must reach the NBC within 14 days of the queried broadcast. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting.
You're welcome back to newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news, making the headlines on the Guardian newspaper, Leadership, Vanguard, Punch, Sun, The Nation, Daily Post, This Day, and if time permits, we're also going to take a look at the Nigerian Tribune newspapers. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080 091-96661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we're live at Ebonade 103.5 FM. Drop your comment on the comment section of the live video. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. I am Martin. Let's get started with the Guardian newspaper this morning. Nigerians want probe expanded to other poverty alleviation schemes. APC sues Adeleke for appointing PDP members as Osun INEC chairman. APC sues Adeleke for appointing PDP member as Osun INEC chairman. Christian Association of Nigeria don tackle Tinubu on security strategies. Police nab kidnapper after collecting 25 million naira ransom. Rescue hotelier. Ohaneze plays Igbo leaders over Kano's release. Rivers Assembly denies receiving 2024 appropriation bill. PDP condemns Fayo, says purported endorsement of Oyebanji for second term. Federal government probes private varsities over fake degrees. Government pledges to ease pressure on foreign exchange. Abiodun seeks federal government's approval for Remo FTZ. Labour Party says Ukupe's defection due to affiliation with PDP. Army promises to tackle security dark areas in Enugu. 2023 hottest year on record by large margin, says scientist. Army confirms arrest of soldier for insulting Sanwo-Olu. Tinubu slashes official trip expenses, entourage by 60%. Sanwo-Olu's administration empowered over 11,000 startup businesses in 4 years. Police arraign Abia Monarch for impersonation. Plateau wreck expresses fear over by-elections. 6 police intervention. Ndiomu 6 change of amnesty to intervention program. Navy receives C of O for 3,747 hectares of land in Delta. Federal government to build fashion hub in Makurdi. Strike. Para workers give government 14 days to implement demands. 6 brilliant indigent students receive University of Ibadan ASU scholarship. Non-governmental organization opens scholarship application for Nigerian youths. U.S. group honors Nigeria's fallen heroes, empowers 80 widows in Lagos. Customs partner on AFCFTA to boost trade in Africa. Not all varsities in Benin, Togo are involved in certificate racketeering, says Ifatosi. Not all varsities in Benin, Togo are involved in certificate racketeering, says Ifatosi. Group hails the federal government on automated passport launch. APC UK diaspora group push for voting rights. Level of poverty in Ijaw land disturbing. PAP boss. Betta Gate. CUPP, coalition of political parties, Lord Tinubu urges wider dragnets against wrongdoers. Military veterans seek upward review of salaries, pensions for all ranks. Soludo seeks partnerships to tackle gully erosion in Oko. Zamfara governor extends distribution of agricultural assets in Tisep local government area. Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority seals a pact with All On to boost rural electrification. Edo shines at 27th World Investment Conference in New Delhi. Both mishap claims lives of infants, 10 others in rivers. iScholar opens application for Nigerian youth to study abroad. National Assembly members congratulate Governor Bello, pledge unwavering loyalty. Atiku cautions Tinubu against weaponizing poverty, says Betta Edu's suspension not enough. Afenifere back Tinubu on fight against corruption. 438 million naira contract scandal. Interior Minister Tunji Ojo cited in Aso Villa. Federal government destroys elephant ivory products worth $9.9 billion. Tinubu slashes expenditure on domestic foreign travels by 60%. Tinubu slashes expenditure on domestic foreign travels by 60%. Court adjourns Kano's 1 billion naira lawsuit against federal government. DSS, others. Federal government stopped 35,000 naira wage increase after 1 month, says TUC. Deceased Castina Corps members not killed by bandits. NYSC clarifies. Mother of French Gaza hostage demands ceasefire. Police confirm 70-year-old man's kidnapping in Ogun. Suspended Minister Betta Edu arrives EFCC office. Betta Edu, Minister, admits owing shares in firm that got 438 million naira from humanitarian ministry. Former First Lady Miriam Abacha orders storm Abuja as Stalin celebrates birthday. Yahaya Bello appoints 21 local government caretaker chairmen. Play 2. Federal government opens portal for humanitarian job application. Police arrest 2 suspects, recover firearms, crystal meth in Enugu. NERC dissolves board of Kaduna Electricity Distribution Company. Banks suspend new applications for CBN anchor borrowers, other funds. Tinubu sacks BPE, FCCPC chiefs. BBC reports on TB Joshua fake miracles. Scandal sparks mixed reaction. BBC reports on TB Joshua fake miracles. Scandal sparks mixed reactions. Talo launches food for peace initiative. Human capital development critical in repositioning Naseni. Okorocha loyalists resolved to support Tinubu Ozodemma. Red Cross gives 39 million naira to 1,250 flood victims. Ex-PDP chairman emerges Ebonyi South senatorial candidate. That's the much we can take from the Guardian newspaper this morning. And from the Guardian newspaper, we'll flip over to Leadership newspaper. Reflection on the peace in the Southeast project. NSIA all on collaborate to improve access to energy. Forest probe. Manufacturers call for civility in operations of government agencies. NGX all share index crosses 80,000 benchmark, gains 363 billion naira. Nimet DG Anosike helps on improved service delivery. Consolidated hallmark transit to hold company as Adenyaju becomes CHIMD. Smart Cash PSP, Baxi partner on improved access to financial services. 2 killed, 6 abducted in Kogi. Nasarawa records 75 kidnapped, 83 robbery cases in 1 year. Boko Haram burns 6 to death, names 4 in Borno. Cost of governance, Tinubu costs a travel delegation by 60%. Betta Edu. Zenith Bank clarifies EFCC invite. World Bank projects Nigeria's growth at 3.3% in 2024. 2023, Supreme Court reserves judgment in Delta, Plateau appeals. National Assembly members congratulate Governor Bello, pledged unwavering loyalty. Police parade 3 suspects over Plateau killings. Governors should follow suit on 60% travel delegation / Shehu Sani, Nigerian held in India for trafficking cocaine worth 137 million naira. Federal government to formalize 1 million businesses at discounted rate. Rivers Assembly asks Fubara to represent the 2024 budget. Don't judge Super Eagles yet. Supporters Club president tells Nigerians after friendly loss. Anti-graft crackdown. EFCC grills Betta Edu. Umar Farouk Shehu. Open letter to President Tinubu. Tunji Ojo needs protection after monstrous passport cabal fights back. Open letter to President Tinubu. Tunji Ojo needs protection as monstrous passport cabal fights back. Dangote Cement, MTN drive rally as NGX gains 1.93 trillion naira. Rivers police rescue kidnapped hotelier shot thrice by abductors. Nigerian students shines in AFEL's first economic impact challenge. BUK has no fake professors. Vice Chancellor, NGX achieves highest single day gain in 7 months. Bogus certificates. Federal government set up committee to probe private varsities. Foundation commissions a borehole in Gombe. Army arrests soldier who lambasted Sanwo-Olu in viral video. Umuhu community shines at a big One-Poor Foundation football tournament. Bogus certificate, we've taken this. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Leadership newspaper. this morning. Nigerian police allegedly extort U.S. professor who was robbed by immigration. Rehabilitation. Federal government begins partial closure of third mainland bridge. Punching marathon. Indian man breaks 55 hours world record. Father, son sent to prison for raping daughter, sister in Ibadan. Tiwa Savage files a petition against Davido over alleged threat to life. Tunjo Ojo visits Aso Rock amid 438 million naira contract scandal. That's the much we can take from the leadership newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning from the leadership newspaper, we'll flip over to the Vanguard newspaper. Tinubu deserves commendation for suspension of Betta Edu Atiku. Access Bank completes acquisition of Atlas Mara in Zambia. ISP set to boost agriculture for economic growth. 2024, federal government urged to prioritize manufacturing sector. Stock market investors gain 1.93 trillion naira in 2 days. NMPC records 157 oil theft incidents in Niger Delta. Betta Edu, Sadiya Farouk, and their humanitarian sleaze by Rotimi. AFCON AFCON 2023. Super Eagles can do it again. Executive immunity and good government. Nigeria in changing times, rekindling hope and optimism. Insecurity. Imo royal fathers sue for peace. 585 million naira graft. EFCC grills Betta Edu for hours. Tinubu slashes presidential entourage for foreign local trips by 60%. Reduce number of ministers. Chakarao tells Tinubu. Why Tinubu acted swiftly on allegations of fraud against Betta Edu, APC. Betta Edu, Tinubu's step encouraging suspension sends message across. Shakarao, Nigeria structured by politicians to encourage corruption. Pat Otomi. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. 5 infants, 6 adults die as 2 wooden boats capsize in rivers. Nigerian singer Zua shot dead in US. Police, military invade IPOB ESN camp in Imo. Arrest 1. Truck explodes at Nigeria-Benin border area while discharging diesel. Truck explodes at Nigeria-Benin border area while discharging diesel. Gunmen shoot traditional chief dead in Chagamu, Ogun State. That's the much we can take from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And from the Vanguard newspaper, we'll flip over to the Punch newspaper. Federal government must identify those behind the Plateau killings. Catholic Archbishop Betta Edu. Afenifere demands a thorough probe. Nigerians hail Tinubu as a president trims a foreign trip entourage. Nigerians hail Tinubu as a president trims foreign trips entourage. 85 abducted as bandits return to Kaduna Abuja Expressway. Lagos promises improved school feeding program. Bandits kidnap Zamfara finance director, wife, children. Adeleke, others approve on 200 million naira fraud in Oshun College. How herdsmen cut my arms, 60-year-old Gombe Kitman. Cheibu kicks as Edo PDP leaders endorse Igadalo. Lecturers, parents reject drug test for Bauchi Varsity students. Board member laments 953 abandoned NDDC projects in rivers. Kogi lawmakers lament rising kidnap robbery cases. MPC laments Oshun residents' apathy to health survey. Police warn troublemakers ahead of Kanu by-elections. Army chief meets Enugu governor, promises more troops. Police parade 3 suspects linked to Plateau killings. Court declares Anyang as PDP national secretary. Rivers Provost pledges reward for outstanding workers. Para workers threaten strike over wage award orders. Consultants accuse Ondo rep of distributing poisonous rice. Supreme Court reserves judgment on Plateau Delta governorship polls. Niger junta frees Bazoum's wife. Niger junta frees Bazoum's wife, son from house arrest. Humanitarian ministry scandals. EFCC seizes Edu. Former minister's passport. Castana ex SSG urges Northwest governors to tackle banditry jointly. Islamic Council demands local government appointment for Ekiti Muslims. Federal government vows end to wildlife trafficking. Crushes elephant talks. TB Joshua. Synagogue Church of All Nations false BBC reports. Ex-disciple knocks late prophet. Kanu community threatens National Assembly protests over poor road. Communities tackle Nasarawa governor over abandoned 3.2 billion naira road. Why we installed solar street lights, Sokoto. Why we installed solar street lights, Sokoto. Rivers lawmakers ask Fubara to submit 2024 budget afresh. Government trains local government officials in tech skills. That's the much we can take from the Punch newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning from the Punch newspaper, we'll flip over to the Sun newspaper. Federal government approves private varsities, orders over degree bazaar. Kalu drums support for Tinubu, donates security vans to police. Tinubu slashes convoy for self, wife, other government functionaries by 60%. Interior Minister Tunjo Ojo cited in Aso Rock. Terrorist security operatives in gun duel, 6 injured. Chaibu dismisses Edo North PDP leaders meeting that endorsed Igadalo, says it's null, void. Court declares Anyang as PDP national secretary. APC primaries, party has a chance from total extinction in Taraba, Mail. Labour Party knocks Okupe over resignation comments, say no room for opportunists. Obi Atiku as emerging forces of vibrant opposition. Why Atiku can't lead opposition ahead of 2027? Ndukwe, ex-presidential aspirant. Why we want power privatization reversed 10 years after NUEE president. Airtel Africa names Sunil Tauda new CEO. Tinubu slashes convoy, we've taken this. Federal government vows to weed out fake farmers from register. Naseni signs a multi-billion-dollar memorandum of understanding with foreign technical partners. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Sun newspaper this morning. Boniface to undergo surgery. Murphy replaces injured Boniface. Effective implementation of 2024 budget. Let federal government stop illegal mining. Tinubu sacks FCCPC, BPE CEOs. Court to deliver judgment in Rivers Assembly Speaker's suit against Fubara, National Assembly. Dismantle emerging political cartel, Ndume tells Tinubu rise violation. Court orders EFCC to pay ex-CBN Governor Emefiele 100 million naira. Bello deposits 3 top Kogi monarchs, appoints Ohinoi, Magari, others. Plateau government debunks alleged killing of 350 herdsmen, rustling of 850 cows, urges arrest of Fulani leaders. That's the much we can take from the Sun newspaper this morning. And from the Sun newspaper, I'll flip over to the Nation newspaper. AFCON 2023. Sanwo-Olu hosts Super Eagles in Lagos. 20 persons perish as 2 boats capsize in Rivers water. FCCPC, BPE chief Irukera Oko relieved of their duties, not dismissed. Presidency clarifies Edu. Presidency defends Tinubu's action. Rivers Assembly awaits Fubara's 2024 budget. Others. Police parade suspects in Plateau killings. Others. APC UK's Congress to hold Saturday in London. Tetanus. Diphtheria threatening expectant mothers, says NPHCDA. Court validates Anyanwu as PDP National Secretary. Federal government determined to ease forest pressure, says Trade Minister. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Nation newspaper this morning. Federal government seeks ASU's support for strike-free academic system. Unions scholarships for 6 indigent University of Ibadan students. Unions scholarships for 6 indigent University of Ibadan students. Armed Forces Day. Federal government to close major roads in Abuja. Why non-members can't preach in our parishes by RCCG. Short Third Mainland Bridge worsens gridlock in Lagos. Short Third Mainland Bridge worsens gridlock in Lagos. How we rescued kidnapped popular Rivers hotelier after family paid 25 million naira ransom. Commissioner of Police, Disu. 2026, Ekiti PDP disowns Fayose over for endorsing Oyebanji for second term. 2026, Ekiti PDP disowns Fayose for endorsing Oyebanji for second term. Chieftaincy title, Ifeanyi breaks silence on suspension of Anambra monarch. Fubara vows to complete Eshe Igbodo Road in Rivers. Lag Bridge, Yuba, drivers seek worker-friendly policies. That's the much we can take from the Nation newspaper this morning. And from the Nation newspaper, we'll flip over to Daily Post newspaper. Para Nigerian Security Civil Defense Corps decorates 95 promoted officers. Para Nigerian Security Civil Defense Corps decorates 95 promoted officers. Makinde Ali Mon, deceased Grand Mufti of Ibadan. Zulum brokers truce between Fulani headers, farmers in Borno town. New Ohimeje to banned after Governor Bello banished former monarch to Niger State. Obaseki seeks traditional rulers' support to produce worthy successor. Governor Ayedatiwa approves payment of gratuities to Ondo retirees. Governance, not one-man business, Governor Abu Kepas. You must not fail. Governor Yahaya Bello wants new Kogi local government chairman. Work together as team. Niger Speaker to Councillors Forum. Tinubu must fish out Betta Edu's collaborators. Articles aid, Chaibu. Nigerian Security Civil Defense Corps decorates 385 promoted officers in Kanu. Rivers has over 953 abandoned Niger Delta Development Commission projects. Okosha, that's the much we can take from the Daily Post newspaper this morning. You are listening to newspaper headlines on Ebon at the 103.5 FM. We will now go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning. Please stay with us.
Go and register now in your ward. Get involved. The new APC is here in Anambra. This is sponsored by Sakol Chukuma, Onwa Umeru, Onye Chinazo, and Ocha.
Kandi mozike chukudulima nyudoku ena benigwe ojezulike nandokwa onwo nebuwa emalwe.
Anyị ji ohere a wee na-akpọgo oku ka ị bịa sonye na mmemme akwamozu nke High Chief Ifeanyi Michael Udokwu Ekwueme Onowu Ogidi, onye jibu ọkwa Deputy Chairman All Progressives Girls Alliance ABGA na Anambra State, ma bụrụ onye bụbu memba ABGA Board of Trustees, ma bụrụ founder Doka Furniture. Ọ rapụrụ ụwa lapụrụ onye nwe anyị ka o rechara ahụ ntakịrị oge na England ma ọ gbara afọ 71 wee la mmụọ. Mmemme akwamozu ụbọchị Wednesday abalị 10 n'ọnwa Jenụwarị afọ 2024 a ga-akara ya ụka ịmụ anya abalị na ngwurube ya ma ọ kwerekere ise n'ọgụrụchi n'uru Ezalọ Village Ogidi na njedite iru the Palace of His Royal Majesty Igwe Alex Ụzọ Onyido. Abalị 11 ka ọnwa Jenụwarị afọ 2024 ọ kwerekere 8 nke ụtụtụ ga-eburu ozu ya bute na Ogidi Town Hall dote ya ka akpọchere ụka ikpeazụ. Ọ kwerekere 10 nke ụtụtụ akara ụka onye nwụrụ anwụ na Our Lady of Assumption Catholic Church Ogidi emechazie eli ozi ngwa ngwa gbasachara ụka na ngwurube ya. Ọ rapụrụ ụmụ ya anọ ka ha na-eruju ọnwụ ya, tinyere nwunye ya bụ Iyom Antonia Udokwu Osodieme na ọtụtụ ndị ọzọ bụ ndị metụtara ya. Onowu Ogidi wee ezumike n'ime onye nwe anyị amen. Ndị bịara aka n'ọkwa bụ His Royal Majesty Igwe Alex Ụzọ Onyido, Igwe Eze Chiomagha na Ogidi na Pastọ Eze Akọ Udokwu
0032763826
n'aha ezinụlọ.
How best can we talk about the challenges we are having on our streets, our community, our society in general? Street report. If we do not address these challenges on Ebonadi FM, who will? As the happenings around us get as complicated as they can be. Street report is here to make sense of it all. Street report is causing social change across your streets. In your community. Street report is here with hardcore journalism to get to the roots of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin Ifeanyi as number the force every Friday 4:30 p.m. on Ebonadi 103.5 FM as Street Reports unfolds
In your face.
on Emasile Ebonadi corner
24/7. 24/7.
You're welcome back to Newspaper Headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080 96661035. You can also join us on Facebook as we are live at Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Drop your comment on the comment section of the live video. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. We are on to this day newspaper. Culture as tool for revamping the economy, strengthening the naira, exploring Nigeria's creative economy through the lens of content creators. Win or lose, Pissarro not returning to Super Eagles after AFCON. Murphy to join Eagles in Cote d'Ivoire as Boniface undergoes surgery. Can why government funding is important to keep out of school children in classrooms. President Tinubu wields the big stick. Army to address security dark areas in Enugu, says Chief of Army Staff. Babcock University has no fake professor, says management. Application opens for Asiodu Secondary School essay competition. 438 million naira consultancy contract. Interior Minister Tunji Ojo cited at State House. Supreme Court reserves judgment in APC, Labour Party, SDP's appeal against Oborowori's election as Delta governor. Zamfara government gives to save local government area farmers' agricultural assets. AIICO Insurance marks 60th anniversary. Applaud customers' loyalty. Vetiva fund managers rebalances exchange traded fund suit. Vetiva fund managers rebalances exchange traded fund suit. Subtle recovery for Nigeria industrialists. Nigeria pays more for petrol than Saudi Arabia, Russia, Iraq, others. 2024, examining Nigeria's unfinished business in energy sector. NIPR to crack down on quackery in PR practice. Plateau, Guba, Mutfwang, Goshek, no fate as Supreme Court reserves judgment. That's the much we can take from this day newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning from this day newspaper, we'll flip over to Nigerian Tribune. Agric Ministry denies distributing rice to lawmakers as palliatives. Insecurity. Police parade 3 suspects over Plateau killings. Delta government presents a CFO of 3,747 hectares of land to Navy. Soldier ranting against Sanwo-Olu arrested. Army chief. Para government committed to Sustainable Workers Welfare Dialogue Commissioner Ganduje celebrates Benue Governor's Supreme Court victory. Oshun Adeleke warns appointees against corruption, abuse of office. Ondo by-election. We followed due process. APC local government chairman Ogun. Governor Abiodun 6 FTZ status approval for Remo Economic Zone. Traditional ruler apologizes to Soludo for violating chieftaincy title guidelines. Chief of Army Staff Labaja declares open army training conference in Niger. Oyo 2024 is year to punish lawbreakers. Makinde, federal government set to tackle illegal trade. Destroys trafficked ivory. Niger Delta Development Commission gets 300 billion naira for Niger Delta development in 2024 budget. That's the much we can take from the Nigerian Tribune this morning. That will also mark the conclusion of all that we have for you on this particular edition of Newspaper Headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. We'll now flip over to our WhatsApp portal to bring you reactions this morning. From our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message. This one is coming from Comrade Manly Oduogo from Odumobosi, and he says our leaders should not pretend over the major sources of threats to national security, which is predicted upon social, economic, and political imbalances. These challenges are structural and deeply embedded in Nigeria's social, political, and economic institutions over the previous decades. Based on the above scenario, our president should call for a sovereign national conference to put aright the imbalances, for this will bring a long-lasting solution to most of our national problems. Comrade Manli Oduago from Odumobusi, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It is coming from Waloto Patrick from Monteje, and he says, I quite support. Okay, I quite support millions of Nigerians that want probe to be extended to other poverty alleviation schemes. It is obvious that Betta Edu is not the only political office holder in Nigeria that is corrupt, but the fact remains that she is not as lucky as other ones whose evil deeds have not been unveiled. Just like they say, a gentleman is whose evil deeds have not been unveiled. So there is the need that both the president and other crime-fighting agencies should extend their dragness to other political office holders so as to fish out other corrupt government officials. Otherwise, Betta Edu will become a scapegoat, which will be counterproductive to all the efforts geared towards a repositioning Nigeria politically and economically. Similarly, I want to use this opportunity to commend President Bola Tinubu for slashing down the travel expenses of government officials by 60%. That is a welcome development. Maloto Patrick from Monteje, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It is coming from Kenneth Ndubiso Kapo from Umuez Omunachi, and it says President Tinubu trims a foreign trip entourage to 20 is a welcome development. He should also cut costs of governance by reducing the number of ministers as in Buhari's government, merging of some ministries and parastatals especially. Now Nigeria economy is in coma. Kenneth Ndubiso Kapo from Umuez Omunachi, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message. It is coming from T-Man from Ikem Ifitenando, and it says 20 persons perished as their boat capsized in river. It's a sad news. May their soul rest in the bosom of the Lord. T-Man from Ikem Ifite village. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We'll now flip over to our SMS portal to bring you more reactions. From our SMS portal this morning, we have this message coming from Comrade Manli Oduago from Odumobosi, and it says, why blame our youth when things are not in the right perspectives? The Charlton gap exists between wealth and income distribution, resulting in poverty and unemployment, which complement each other. On the possible larger scale, for sure, there is an evident propensity. There is an evident propensity for the people, especially the youths, to resort to means other than lawful and socially accepted to satisfy their immediate needs. Let our president make hay before the sun shines. Comrade Manly Oduago from Odumobosi, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We also have this message coming from the boss from Okozu, and it says killing from Boko Haram has not ended yet. Nigerian government has not done anything about it. For TB Joshua, many know the truth. Okay, many know the truth. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we also have this message. It is coming from Ajaf from Odume, and it says, I thought we are practicing democracy in Nigeria, and in this, okay, and it says, why should army go for the soldier that said the truth about Sanwo-Olu? Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. why the soldiers will go after him is because nobody have the right to commit crime in Nigeria, so that's just the thing. But thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message is coming from Honorable Onyedeka Osakwe. It is only in Nigeria that court will give a favorable judgment to a looter like Afenifere why he committed felony and other heinous crimes. Dr. Ifeanyi, as I can understand, had been commissioned to add salt to injury that is unending quest for power. Ifeanyi Oba should go and sit down so that Anambrans should not carpet him like some of other contemporaries that are only there to truncate a peaceful and smooth political process. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Honorable Onyedeka Osakwe. But he continued and says, kidnapping and paying of huge ransoms of money doesn't mean that it has come to stay with us here in Nigeria. I wonder why the nation is not listening to the woes of its citizens, but only pay attention to what will negate the prospects of a better Nigeria. Did the nation not know about the innovations being applied by Israelis in combating insurgency, which drones are used? The troops are there unleashing mayhem in the east in the name of IPOB, but bandits and kidnappers are rampaging and has been recruited. Has recruited their own generals. The United Nations is in the hands of unprofessionals. The nation is in the hands of unprofessionals. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Honorable Onyedeka Osakwe. On our SMS portal, we have this message coming from Prophet Isaiah Ivom, aka Super Lion of God from Odumobosi, and he says, "Play to killing. Nigeria is a headquarter of satanic killings, cultism, and all other evil practices are common in Nigeria. So devil makes more progress in Nigeria than any other country in the world." Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Prophet Isaiah Ivom. We also have this message that says, "I urge federal government to invite foreign investors to encourage our poor state of economy." Okay, let's see if we can get all of that. Okay, it says the poor state of our economy will revive, and may the souls of those that died in both mishap rest in the Lord. This is coming from Wingate Ikechukwu Makeze from Okozu. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. From our SMS portal, we'll flip over to our Facebook portal. On our Facebook portal, we have this message coming from also Francis Nnamani. And it says, the spate of killings, banditry, kidnapping, oil theft, illegal mining, among others, other criminalities in this country need to be addressed holistically for Nigeria to be better again. May God help us. Also, Francis Nnamani from Amagunze in Enugu State. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have a message coming from Chinwoba Ume Agonabo, and he's joining us from Ofa Aguluzibu. And he says, Nnan Nekalo, 1 billion naira suit against the federal government is his right. And let Nigerian government release him because he did nothing against Nigeria laws. Chinwoba continued, Agonabo joining us from Ofa. He says, let Nigerian government reduce the price of petroleum so that the price of things will come down. We have suffered a lot in Nigeria. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We also have this message coming from also Francis Nnamani from Amagunze in Enugu State, and he says, okay, thank you so much for the encouragement. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. On our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message coming from Obiora from Okozu, and he says, Afenifere support Tinubu in fighting corruption. The problem that is getting worse, getting the country worse is talking with both sides of the mouth. My questions to Afenifere: can dirty water make dirty white clothes clean? I believe that we know the truth, but refuse to say it. But the Bible says we shall know the truth, and the truth shall set us free. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It is coming from our Mechi Ane from Uru, and it says, I don't think Nigerian Army is doing the right thing by having issue with the Lagos State governor. What I want Nigerian Army is go inside the bush and fight Boko Haram. They are here making, okay, and it says, God help us in this country called Nigeria. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And this is the spot where we'll call it a day on this particular edition of Newspaper Headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Remember, it comes your way weekdays in the morning. Once is 7 o'clock, so keep a date. And don't touch the dial of Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Once it's 8:20, we'll be back with Birthday Splash. Till we meet again, I am Martin. Have a wonderful morning.
Can we talk about the challenges we are having on our streets, our community, our society in general? Street report. If we do not address these challenges on Ebona FM, who will? As the happenings around us get as complicated as they can be,
Our government.
whatever Street Report is here to make sense of it all. Street Report is causing social change across your streets, in your community. Street Report is here with hardcore journalism to get to the roots of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin Ifeanyi, number the first every Friday, 4:30 p.m. on Ebona 103.5 FM as Street Reports unfolds in your face. On Emas Ebona the corner 24/7, 24/7.
Let's go. Ụmụazị agbara ọka si kwado mpụta mega rush ya. Nchọ ịpụta nwanne m pọzi ya.
Yo, if you don't know me, Marone Nwero TV, Adam High, Monday,
Guys, thank you. Like, subscribe, and share. Right?
Guess what? You are listening to Ebe on 103.5 FM. Don't you ever touch that dial.